From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2010, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, May 11th, 2016. The FCC has issued a warning to an unlicensed operator, charging him with jamming the bands in the New York metropolitan area. Skeeter Nash, N5ASH, has more.
The agency's Enforcement Bureau sent the warning to Daniel DeLisi of Astoria, Queens, New York on April 20th. Acting on a barrage of complaints, the FCC sent the warning after its special counsel had several telephone conversations with DeLisi and gave him a number of verbal warnings. It then sent the document which says in part, quote, "In spite of these warnings, the New York office continued to receive information that you were operating radio transmitting equipment on frequencies in the amateur radio services, land mobile radio services, and personal radio services without authorization," end quote. FCC direction finding had confirmed unauthorized 2-meter transmissions from DeLisi's home on April 7th, when it was also discovered he had a handheld radio and 7 mobile radios programmed to operate on those bands, along with rooftop antennas. The document also recounted that DeLisi admitted to the agents that he had operated on 147.96 megahertz that same evening. DeLisi has been given 10 days to respond to the notice before the FCC decides on sanctions.
Who says all hams are couch potatoes? Some of them have no trouble at all running a 6-kilometer course through the forest and finding 5 radio transmitters while they're doing it.
The annual USA ARDF Championships are now complete. ARDF stands for Amateur Radio Direction Finding, also called fox hunting, foxtailing, and radio orienteering, all on foot under international rules. This year's national championships took place in early April near Killeen, Texas, under the sponsorship of the Texas ARDF Group and the Austin Orienteering Club. Anyone at any transmitter hunting skill level was welcome to compete, so there was a wide age range of participants from all over the country, plus visitors from Ukraine and a high school exchange student from China. There were some past medal winners, while a few had never completed a full course before. The participants were divided into 11 age and gender categories, so the ones in their 70s didn't have to compete against prime agers for the gold. The classic courses on 2 meters and 80 meters were over 6 kilometers from start to each of the 5 transmitters and then to the finish. In addition, there was a sprint event to see who could find 10 lower-powered transmitters fastest. There was also a fox soaring event. That's a new sport that combines orienteering and direction finding. Competitors were given a map marked with 10 circles. When they got inside the area represented by each circle, they could hear a QRP 80-meter transmitter and track it down with RDF. When it was all over, 16 OMs and 9 YLs had received gold, silver, and bronze medals to take home. Some of them are also getting invitations to travel and compete on Team USA in the ARDF World Championships, which will get underway in mid-September near Albina, Bulgaria. For the complete results and lots of photos of these championships, point your web browser to homingin.com. That's homingin, as one word, homingin.com. That's also a good place to learn more about the fun of on-foot transmitter hunting and about bringing it to your locality. From Southern California, where we are planning several training events to get Team USA ready for the World Championships, this is Joe Mel, K0 Oscar Victor, for Amateur Radio Newsline.
DXers can no longer hope to work the much-anticipated P5D Expedition in North Korea. It ain't happening.
The P5D Expedition to North Korea is dead, and it wasn't bad propagation but a lack of funds and the need for secrecy that killed it. So says Paul Ewing, N6PSE, spokesman for the Intrepid DX group that had been planning the historic event since 2013. Ewing has said in a number of news reports that despite long discussions with the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea, a breach in the required security surrounding those talks ended with permission being denied to work from North Korea. The North Korean officials had also requested a fee in connection with the D-Expedition, Ewing says, and there was no funding to be had. The 10-day mission to activate the world's most wanted DXCC entity has now been scrapped. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm John Williams, VK4JJW.
And finally, another reminder that the nominating period for the Bill Pasternak Young Ham of the Year Award is now open. More information and the nominating form can be found on the Newsline website under the YHOTY tab. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for over 38 years and counting at www.arnewsline.org. With Skeeter Nash, N5ASH, Joe Mel, K0OV, John Williams, VK4JJW, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW 73. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.